What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I asked my Patreon backers if they wanted to see a connected franchise mode series from me. They responded with yes and offered that I rebuild the Arizona Cardinals, which, to be fair, don't really need a rebuild as much as they need some guidance and some structure. So I figured I would go ahead and give you guys a look at what I would do if I were in charge of the Arizona Cardinals, which really have some good pieces in place. David Johnson, Patrick Peterson, two of the best players in the league at their respective positions. But to me, age is something that needs to be addressed with the Cardinals right away. You look at this roster, I immediately focus on Larry Fitzgerald, a great receiver, but obviously getting up there in age, only a handful of years left. Antoine Bethea on the defensive cornerstone for many years, but again, age is starting to cause a concern. So when you look at what the game wants us to do, we try to find a receiver. You can see there's really not anyone available. 75 or less, we're not going to be able to go out and trade, at least from what's on the block, for that player. When you look at what the game wants us to do, ironically enough, despite having Josh Rosen in, it's actually looking for us to go to Brissett or Simeon. But we do have some expendable pieces, in my opinion. I'm trying to get Odell Beckham Jr. here. He's a scheme fit. He's a young player. He's one of the best receivers in the game. And I don't mind giving up Fitzgerald. I don't mind giving up Sam Bradford. And I don't think we're going to lose a lot of value on that first-round pick, because I don't think a 95 receiver is going to be in the cards. And obviously, I don't think a backup quarterback and a retiring receiver are going to be that big of a loss. So it actually allows us to go through and get this trade. Now, to me, I know a contract is going to be something I have to deal with Beckham, but I also want to address that halfback position. Even though there's backups, I kind of want that change of pace back. Orleans Dacquell brings that young player, brings that power back that we don't exactly have with David Johnson. And in the secondary, I think Kenny Vaccaro is a great way to bring in some depth and can actually start. Even though he's out of position, he can start at free safety, not actually have any loss for Bethea, and also allow Bethea to back up on the other side Budda Baker, who's actually coming in his own right. To me, you look at the news here, and there's this overall shock that I traded Larry Fitzgerald. You know, you don't trade an all-time great. I don't care what the Cardinals got for Fitzgerald. It wasn't enough. I really, despite that, I think this is actually a much better trade for us than the game gives its credit for. One thing I did want to go in, though, pay homage to Larry Fitzgerald by not immediately giving his number to Odell Beckham. So I actually moved him to 12, one less than he was, one more than Fitzgerald was. So to me, I kind of like to pay a little bit of respect to the players in my franchise. And then obviously we go into the game plan, and I want to make sure we highlight Rosen, Beckham Jr., and Vaccaro, not just because they're players that we have or two players that I just brought in, because those are going to be the cornerstones, I hope, going forward in this franchise from a defensive standpoint and obviously from an offensive standpoint. I think it's important to go out and start to work on these chemistry, especially when you both have superstar development and quick development out of your quarterback and your receiver. I want to take as much I can from that going forward. Love to know what you guys think about this series. I appreciate you checking out this video, and you know that I'll be back very shortly with more commentary.